Another 1v1 on Kholodny Ferma this time, GBPirate versus Magic J69, US versus Oberkommando West. US in the East base, Oberkommando West in the West base, and it looks like we are going to see a Kubelwagen start, and of course a Rifleman start from the US. Kubelwagen start is often a good idea. You can usually win the first engagement if you go with the Kubelwagen, as long as you position it well, and depending on timing. Of course, if the second Rifleman squad has arrived, then you may struggle to win that engagement if the player positions it well. But frequently you can win the first engagement if you position that Kubelwagen really well. So it should be interesting to see how Magic J uses that. Doesn't look like he's going to do any scouting with the supply half-track. Some players do it, but looks like most players choose not to go scouting with the supply half-track anymore, considering how slow and fragile it is now. You don't want to lose that just because of some bad positioning and timing on your part. Plus, it's just a micro headache for very little benefit. Second Kubelwagen cooking, so he's going to go with a very aggressive, very high firepower, very low capping power strategy, it looks like. And he sees a Rifleman squad and he parks. Riflemen are a little slow to respond. There they go. They're too late and they get suppressed. He needs to retreat that squad. He sees the Storm Pioneers coming. He should get out of there. He needs to retreat. He's going for the building, but that's a mistake. Storm Pioneers are really good at getting you out of a building. That he should not have done that. He's going to take a lot of damage. Already down to 2 guys. That squad's dead for sure. They're done. Huge mistake there. He should have got that squad out of there. These Riflemen need to keep moving, or at least get into this green cover. What are they doing? They're just standing there. Get into that green cover. Oh, it's too late. Now he needs to retreat. Now he needs to retreat. There he goes. Rear echelon troops coming on the flank. They're too slow. Second Kubelwagen's out. Ouch, that is really going to hurt the US player. When you see that your opponent has gotten 2 Kubelwagens, that means that he has no capping power. You should just spread out and capture as much of the map as you can, because you know your opponent isn't going to be able to capture anything. Let's turn off the Fog of War. Yeah, he hasn't even taken anything up here. He's only got 1 infantry squad, these Storm Pioneers. Can't capture any of the map at all. It's probably, yeah, second Storm Pioneer squad is cooking, but absolutely no map control. Well, good map control, but you know, he doesn't own any of it. But he is doing a great job of keeping the US player pinned. The US player should not be getting in this building so much. He should be avoiding buildings. He should be spreading out. He's just going to take a ton of damage. Ouch. So yet another engagement where he's going to get chased off because of this house. He needs to be setting up flanks on these Kubelwagens. But that's going to be really tough without that third Rifleman squad. Losing that full squad is really going to set him back. 3 minutes in, he's pinned in his base. These rear echelon troops are making a good move, trying to spread out, harass the map. Forcing these Kubelwagens off of his cutoff. So he needs to take advantage of that if he can. And it looks like we see a super early bazooka tech. I feel like that's almost a panic reaction. Bazookas, I mean, of course, are going to help you with those Kubelwagens, but don't forget about rifle grenades if you get Vet 1. Don't forget, you can just kill them with small arms fire just by spacing your squads out. And, of course, not losing full squads. Once you've lost a full squad, maybe bazookas is actually not a bad idea. Plus, bazookas are always a good investment against Oberkommando, so not necessarily the worst decision. We'll see if it works out for him. It's just really early to be getting that. He can't even afford one yet, but he will be able to soon. And we're seeing a new Rifleman squad coming out. The good thing is that it's okay to go really infantry heavy when you know your opponent doesn't have any map, and you don't have any map either, so nobody's going to be having any vehicles anytime soon, that's for sure. Just hope that squad gets out of there. Does not want to be losing any more full squads. He needs to stop sending squads out alone. He needs to form up, regroup, and make one good assault from multiple directions simultaneously. Get those Kubelwagens killed. Especially when they're just grouping up. He's using them as if they were just one unit, facing them the exact same direction. Look at this. He should have no problem flanking this. He just needs to group up.
Reinforcements in.
Not necessarily blob, but operate as a team. We do see the bazooka coming out. He needs to keep these riflemen mobile, try not to hold too still. Pretty good damage on that Stern Pioneer squad. Oh, but we see the second Stern Pioneer squad coming up to support, and we also see that he now has 2 Volksgrenadier squads moving out to capture the map. So if he doesn't get himself out of his base soon, then he's going to really be suffering, really be struggling.
On station and ready for action.
He needs to get out of his base. We see an airborne doctrine. Interesting. Given the focus on this building, I almost wouldn't be surprised to see an armor command for a flamethrower. But just going with airborne so that he can get a quick machine gun. Interesting. He still hasn't been able to tech to lieutenant, so he picks airborne so that he'll be able to get a quick machine gun. Interesting decision. Whether a machine gun is going to be helpful in this situation or not, I'm not sure. I guess we will see. Machine gun does do great damage against a Kubelwagen if it doesn't have the presence of mind to move out of the way. Again, we see a unit sort of moving out by itself, not grouping up with the rest of his army. He needs to move in a more unified fashion. The Volksgrenadiers continuing to capture both flanks of the map. Great job by the Oberkommando West player there. Oh, it looks like he's going to be able to lure those Kubelwagens out into that bazooka. Ooh, good shot on the side armor of that Kubelwagen. It backs up out of there, but it's already suppressed this squad of riflemen. He moves up. Can he get a second shot off? Maybe? No, he switches targets to the Stern Pioneers. Probably a good decision there. But he gets suppressed again. He's moving around to flank with this squad. Good assault. And he's harassing the bottom with his rear echelon troops. Very good. Very good play by the US player. Ooh! Manages to hit with that bazooka again, right on the front. Putting both Kubelwagens into dangerous territory. Very close to losing both of those. He does have Volksgrenadiers up to support, but this rifleman squad could easily win this engagement if those Kubelwagens are not moved up to help. Stops to cap. Riflemen have no cover, but they're still managing to win. These Volksgrenadiers are sort of poorly positioned. They're not really taking advantage of that cover. Meanwhile, Stern Pioneers moving up. Better be careful with these riflemen. That's Vet 2 Stern Pioneers. In red cover, moving the wrong direction. Oh, that might have been a bit of a mistake. Oh, he needs to get those riflemen out of there. Meanwhile, both teams just capturing, sort of ignoring each other on the bottom. Machine gun moves up to help. Manages to wow! Wow! That's amazing! I've never seen anything like that! That was incredible. Wow, that... Whoa! And then a grenade kills the full rifleman squad. Wow, what a bloody exchange. Machine gun instantly cuts down some Stern Pioneers, and then they die to riflemen die to a grenade. So full squad's going down on both sides. That's a shame that rifleman squad down. Killing that Stern Pio squad could have been just what he needed to get back in the game. Now he's set back again, though. Great use of that machine gun, though.
On your feet, ladies. It's okay. Get ready for action.
Looks like we see a battle group headquarters from the Oberkommando West player.
Rear echelon squad ready for action.
Major J needs to get those Kubelwagens repaired, but he's too busy capturing with his Stern Pioneers, and he has excellent map control at this point. He has every single point, almost, except for these 2 strategic points.
Mission accomplished.
Could use some cover there. Once again, he's sort of fighting a losing battle right here, just bleeding manpower. He should know that he can't win this. He should just retreat, go do something else, find a better use of these riflemen. Standing here, he doesn't stand to gain anything in this situation. He should really just get out of there. Infantry support gun firing. Should get out of there. He actually does have enough fuel for a lieutenant, and a utility car would be a great purchase at this point. Maybe not at this point, it's a little late. But if he was cooking a utility car right at this exact moment, had he been a little more on the ball about taking up, I think he would find that would be helping him a lot. The utility car is a great counter against Kubelwagons. It doesn't have the mobility to escape, and the gun does great damage against it. You see Fallschirmjäger Doctrine. Great pick. Fallschirmjäger is a really good doctrine to keep your enemy down if he's already losing. You can use machine guns to hit him. Use the Fallschirmjäger to respond to threats across the map if you don't have a good infantry presence over there. Standing in red cover like this, fighting against the unit in a building, is a huge mistake. Good call retreating. He needs to form up again. Really no unified strategy from the US player here. He really needs to keep his army closer together. And he'd have a lot more success if he didn't spread out so much. Especially when you start losing full squads, you can't afford to spread yourself thin. So be careful with those, they're gonna die. It's not worth losing, and you can't afford to keep losing full squads like this. I think the player's a little bit rattled though, starting to maybe make some questionable decisions. We could see an AT gun. An AT gun would definitely get those Kubelwagons off the field. Two bazookas, neither shot connects due to the suppression fire. Good shot there. These guys are pinned, you should just retreat. They contribute nothing to the fight if they're pinned.
We're getting plastered over here. Area secure.
If you find yourself just running a blob straight into suppressing fire, then you probably need to reevaluate your strategy. You need to try to attack from multiple angles simultaneously if possible.
Taking crowd fire. Crowd infantry.
Might help to move this MG up just a little bit too to help in this fight. Infantry support gun's doing a good job of bleeding his manpower too. Captain on the field. Looks like he's really going all in on bazookas. I'm surprised that he went with Captain when the Lieutenant and light vehicles would definitely have helped him in this situation. His opponent has no anti-tank whatsoever, even 12 minutes into the game. Ooh, good shot from the gun there.
Crowds are sniffing around our asses. Tactical point being captured.
This building is definitely a huge player in this game. If he had gone armor command for a flamethrower, he definitely would have been able to keep his opponent from abusing that building so badly. But he's really struggling to deal with this building. And that's pretty common for the United States to struggle against a building. They have very little that can effectively deal with the building. Often you'll just find yourself brute forcing enemies out of there with sustained bar fire, just blobbing up a bunch of squads next to it and blasting them out of there. He catches his opponent crossing red cover, doing pretty good damage there, but these squads both have bazookas, so they're not very suited to dealing with infantry, and he could lose this captain. Looks like it might get away, though. Come on, Captain, run! No! That's 2 bazookas lost. What a shame. Looks like we see another airdrop here. What's he bringing in? Another MG. Interesting. I kind of expected to see an AT gun. Especially given the enemy's map control. Not only does he need to deal with 2 Kubelwagons, he's also going to need to deal with whatever Magic J brings in next. Which, judging by his vehicles, could be anything. He's got 240 fuel right now. It's possible he's saving up for a King Tiger. That would certainly end his opponent. Although the victory points are not looking very good. I almost feel that Magic J hasn't really capitalized on this situation as much as he could have. He's certainly doing a great job of pinning his opponent in his base, but he should spend that fuel. Imagine what a flag half-track would do for him at a time like this. Then his opponent would really be struggling. If he weren't struggling enough already. Then again, a flag half-track might be dangerous against such a large quantity of bazookas. The United States player just keeps charging into these fights that he probably can't win. Infantry support guns bleeding him, these Fallschirmjäger bleeding him. His MG placement is a little strange. He hasn't really placed these all that well. He could definitely spread them out a little bit. Provide a more useful arc of fire. He could also utilize them to have better building control if you put them inside of a building and denies the building to your enemy, and that's really important as United States. Building denial. Harassing the top with rear echelon troops, that's always a good move.
The squad is back to full strength.
Aufgepasst! The command vehicle has converted to a static building.
Hostile fire! God damn it! Keep your radar! Fire support! Fire support!
Still don't see. Whoa!
Americans have 75
Infantry support gun
points
almost
remaining.
kills that guy's Pioneer squad. It's just sitting in buildings with Volksgrenadiers and Stern Pioneers, units from the very beginning of the game. If you find yourself struggling with something like that 16 minutes in, you know you're doing something wrong. He really needs to find a way to get those units out of those buildings. Paratroopers, considering that he's gone airborne, might not be a bad idea. Paratroopers have a native grenade ability that you don't need to tech up to use, and they also have demolition charges, which you could use on these buildings. And their demolition charge is only 45 munitions, so paratroopers have a really good demo charge ability. It's very cheap. I think that you get the reduced price tag because it is on a timer rather than being able to detonate whenever you want. But that does not diminish its usefulness in my opinion. Pathfinders getting cut down.
Infantry! Suppressive fire!
Riflemen spreading out. Trying to slow the clock down a little bit, but looks like it's going to be too late. Looks like this game's going to be over pretty soon.
25 points.
Combat promotion! We're taking effective fire! Taking fire!
Someone block the
Kubelwagen's moving up to prevent this.
Bust down the metal.
Abandoned Kubelwagen.
Motion just came through. Trout's got it pinned. Pull everyone back. We're down to 10 points.
Back to full numbers.
We're on the hook over here. Field promotion. Taking fire.
Good shot from that bazooka, but the game is over. Interesting game for sure. Double Kubelwagen start is not something I've seen before. When I opened this replay, I was fully expecting Kubelwagen spam. I thought I was going to see 5 or 6 at least. I certainly don't see anything wrong with the strategy used by the Oberkommando West player at all. I think that the United States player made many critical mistakes in the beginning, especially losing that first rifleman squad, but it didn't end there. He lost a lot of full rifleman squads, and in any game where that happens, you're going to really struggle. It doesn't matter what your opponent's build order is. If you lose more than 2 full squads in the first 5 minutes, you're going to need to pull off some amazing plays to win, for sure. In fact, I didn't even think that the Oberkommando West player did a very good job of microing those Kubelwagens. He just moved them as if they were one unit, always facing them in the exact same direction. Should have been super easy for him to flank, but due to his not that great unit preservation, he really struggled to pull off any flanks. He should have retreated that first rifleman squad, though, for sure. Crawling into this building while suppressed and being fired at Stern Pioneers was a huge, huge mistake. One he probably won't be making again. So, pretty interesting game. Pretty fun to watch, and I hope you enjoyed it.